Hello and welcome back to the Movie Memo Recaps. Today we are going to recap a 2012 movie by Nicolas Cage named Stolen. Keep up for the spoilers ahead. We start with a drunkard on the streets of New Orleans, but he gets taken away by a tactical unit of FBI who are now waiting for some robbers that they have taken time waiting to arrest in action, thinking they want to rob a diamond shop. On the other hand, the gang led by Will Montgomery with his partners named Vincent and Riley Jeffers are waiting for their hacker named Hoyt to compromise the security cameras. Will receives a call from his wife and talk to his daughter, who he loves a lot, as they complain that Hoyt has taken long to finish his duty, but Hoyt confirms it's done as FBI is listening to everything. The team heads to a toy shop and Will unlocks it to move inside with Vincent and start their preparations. Riley is in a getaway with Hoyt as FBI is now heading out, though FBI agent Tim Harlan seems confused because it seems an easy robbery, yet Will and his team don't do easy tasks. Will and Vincent reach inside to start drilling the vault and opening it as FBI is heading in to arrest them in the act. Will unlocks the vault, but when FBI enters the diamond shop, they find no one there with the diamond still in place. Will and Vincent are now inside the vault where they find gold and money. The police are now at the toy shop as Will packs the $10 million for them to leave. FBI has now realized that they were robbing the bank as Will and Vincent are running out Oswell. The FBI moves to the front door of the bank, though they are a little bit late. On moving out, Vincent hits a janitor and wants to kill him, which brings tension between him and Will, hence Vincent shooting himself in the leg accidentally, and will take him to the getaway van. Will moves back to get the money, but instead Hoyt drives, leaving Will behind, who the police find red-handed, but he fights them and steals their car to run away. Police has got a report about the incident and now they are chasing him through a parking lot, with Agent Tim trying as hard as he can to get him. Will nearly knocks a lady in a car, but stops instantly to run on another side. They try to put him at a dead end, but he manages to jump over and move out to continue, but instead runs into a dead end. Police now has him as he has nowhere to run, and he decides to burn the money and give in himself, knowing they won't arrest him for so long without proof of his crime. 8 years later, Will moves out of prison after his serving, and when the bus reaches, he buys a doll for his daughter as FBI agent Tim has come to pick him up with them, thinking that he still has the money he stole. Will tells him that his wife divorced him 4 years ago, as Tim informs him that his partner Vincent is dead as of now. He tells Will that Vincent joined a gang that led to his death, as Will reaches to his old apartment where he finds her daughter named Allison. She hands him a package left for him and asks her if they could talk, hence moving to a cafe where he tries to explain to her, but he runs out of words. He gets a paper where he reads telling her that he never chose to be a criminal, but it was the circumstances, and needs Oswell as untrustworthy friends. He tells her that he is now changed and wants to focus on her, but she only moves out mindlessly as she says she is heading for her shrink sessions. She calls a cab, leaving her with the doll that she's no longer 7 years old, and leave with the cab. We move to a bar where Riley is now working, and she gets excited to see Will again. She gets him a drink as they sit down to talk with her, telling him about Vincent's death. Shortly, Will receives a call from the package he got from Allison, and it's Vincent, who he presumed dead. Vincent says that he has spent 8 years waiting for his share on the $10 million, as he even changed his identity and name. He blames Will for the incident that happened on the other night, but when Will says he burnt the money, Vincent tells him that he has abducted Allison and he wants his money by all means. Now Will has 12 hours to rescue his daughter from Vincent, who is now a psychopath, as he promised to kill her if Will fails to get him the money. FBI are still tracking Will as Vincent drives the cab to a warehouse and move out to drug Allison. Will receives Vincent's call again, and he informs Vincent that the money is with his lawyer in Tuscaloosa and he needs 24 hours to get it. Vincent gives him only 12 hours as he says he will track him because he needs the money. Vicente soundproofs the cab trunk as Will runs to buy a new phone and later move to the train station for Tuscaloosa and enter the train, where he leaves the phone Vincent sent it. While on call forwarding, Allison is now in the cab trunk with Vincent driving around as Will moves to meet Agent Tim to inform him about the situation, but Tim believes Vincent is dead. Will affirms him that he burnt the money and needs help, but Tim says that Will is planning his other issues as he shows him Vincent's file on his death before asking Agent Fletcher to take him outside. Will is being escorted out, but on reaching the elevator he hits both agents to get one access card to move up. Still inside the police premises, he accesses one computer where he checks out on Vincent's file and later on Hoyt, as the hit agents have now alerted another agent, but Will is now out of the building. Vincent thinks Will has moved to Tuscaloosa after tracking the phone as Allison is finding ways out, but one guy suddenly boards the cab forcefully. Allison is now tearing the sponge seat to reach the guy in the cab, who is now talking to Vincent, who seems not interested. Allison tries hard to reach him but fails as Vincent gets angry to hit the guy and drag him out of the cab to leave him injured on the street. Allison sees a phone vibrating and try to reach it as police has now discovered that Will was browsing Hoyt's address on their computers and head out to move to the same location. Hoyt is now back at his place, but he finds Will inside, who question him about Vincent, and he lies at first that he is dead but later admit that he only drops his bags. He asks the whereabouts of his daughter and Hoyt reveals that Vincent is driving him in the car trunk. He reveals that after Will got arrested, Vincent got mentally ill and blames Will for everything that happened. Meanwhile, the FBI has arrived at Hoyt's place as a fight breaks out between Will and Hoyt. FBI is moving up as Will is still struggling with Hoyt, who tries to shoot him dead, but when he opens the door the FBI shoot him dead as Will moves out to escape. He jumps on another roof as FBI chase him while shooting, and he jumps down onto some old woods and escapes back to the street where he falls into a cab and recalls the same cab that his daughter took. He takes the cab as Allison is trying to text 911, but the car stops to kill her plan. One traffic officer tells Vincent to stop because his back lights of his cab are not working. He moves to him to ask for his license and registration as Allison is inside shouting for help, and as the officer is leaving he hears her and tell Vincent to open the trunk, but he instead shoot him dead. On turning, Allison has escaped from the trunk and Vincent chase her to drug her again after she ransacked into a dead end, and he puts her back to the cab trunk. Will makes the cab driver he hijacked to call the dispatch as he wants to track the signal of Vincent's cab after asking his details by describing his one-legged character. Will gets all he needs and drag the other guy out to drive one as fast as he can because now he has few hours to save his daughter. He reaches the location where he expects the cab described belonging to Vincent is and moves through the crowd, and on reaching the cab it's only framed as Vincent left his GPRS in its trunk. Shortly the FBI arrive again to arrest Will and charge him for violating his payroll as well as accessing FBI illegally. He breaks his thumb and hit the agents, causing an accident, but instead move out safely to talk to Vincent on a call, who now knows that he was at Hoyt's place and fooled him about going to Tuscaloosa. He tells him that Allison is gonna be dead, which prompts Will to tell him that he is gonna get the money by moving back to his old ways of robbery. The agents are still looking for him as he keeps running through the Mardi Gras crowd to call Riley for a meeting in their old usual place. He meets Riley, who he tells that Vincent is still alive and has kidnapped Allison. He informs him that there was gold in the vault on the last robbery, and he wants her to help him. They rob the gold. Agent Tim reaches the cab dispatch, and he sees Vincent's file to confirm he is still alive. Will is with Riley preparing for the robbery, and they start to set everything ready and move down the tunnels as Will measures the distance. He starts to cut through at the bottom as Agent Tim is also now suspecting where Will is gonna get the money. Will starts to melt the gold as it falls in the water to cool down, and he has only 5 minutes before the alarm activates, and when Tim learns about the activated alarm he runs to the bank instantly. Riley is packing the gold as Tim and his team are opening the vault, but the time they move inside, Will and Riley are already out and stolen gold, which they load on a truck to move out. Some officers report suspects, and Tim is waiting to get Will red-handed, but instead they get tricked to find Riley alone with a doll as Will drives another way to meet Vincent. Vincent pulls Allison out and calls Will, who confirms to him that he has the gold and talk to Allison as proof of life. The FBI are also still tracking Vincent's moves and figure out which places he might have visited most for a fair ground for his rendezvous. Will meets Vincent at night and asks for Allison before moving to his truck to bring the gold for Vincent, who now seems like is not yet contented as he wants revenge on what happened 8 years ago and plans to burn Allison. Will jumps to fight and stop him from lighting the car, though Vincent shoots him and manages to set it ablaze. As the fight between them continues, Vincent gets caught by the fire as Will sit in the cab and knock him down, taking the cab into the water to cool it down and save Allison. He starts to struggle opening the trunk, but Vincent comes up again to choke him, but he fights him off and save Allison, though Vincent comes up again, but he finishes him off. Allison is now with injured Will as a chopper comes. The agents pick him up as they confirm he will not be arrested since he had told them that Vincent was alive and it's true his daughter had been abducted. Later on, Riley is with Allison and they drive to meet Will, though the FBI is still watching him and he knows, so he pretends holding gold and talk with Riley before he pretends throwing it in the water, but instead throws a pineapple stone, leaving the gold on the table. Thanks for watching. Until next time, have a nice day.